everyone, welcome to Songwriting. I'm going to first show you the lyrics or the words I came up with on the theme of music from last week. So as you can see, the words with the same color are rhyming words. For example, when I'm feeling blue or have too much to do, and etc. I turn on my favorite tune and it calms me down soon. Now remember how I said that not everything has to rhyme? So as you can see, the section on the right, it starts with a sentence like music is, and I wrote music is my safe space, a place where I can roam free. And another sentence that starts with music makes me feel like I can do anything, blah, blah, blah. So now that we have the words, what's the next step? Well, one of the first things that you can do is think about form. So form is basically how a song is organized or the structure of the song. So I'm sure you've heard of a verse and a chorus, which are two of the main components of a song. So verse is where the story is told. There's lots of words in there. And the chorus is really the main repeated idea. And it's also the most famous parts of songs. So I'm going to just show you some examples of famous choruses. In addition to the verse and the chorus, typically in the song, we always start with an intro. So that's usually done with just instruments only. And then we have the verse that comes in with the actual singing and it's starting to tell the story. And then we can also have something called a pre-chorus, which is literally something that comes before the chorus, and it builds kind of this tension, anticipation for the actual chorus to explode. And chorus, like we said, it's the main repeated idea. And then we can have verse 2, followed by what's called the bridge. So it's kind of like a break or variation from the actual song that again leads into the chorus. And oftentimes this last chorus is repeated twice, or there's more effects or key changes like that to kind of build the climax. And then we finish off with the outro, which is also an instrumental thing. And you don't necessarily have to follow that order. You can make your own decisions, or you can decide to simplify it like me. So for our song, this is the form that I have decided on right now. And again, the form might change as I build the melody, the harmony, and the chord progressions. But for now, I've decided to have verse 1, followed by verse 2, a pre-chorus, and a chorus that is a lengthy chorus, and the chorus will probably repeat again. And I will probably also include an intro, a short intro, and also a short outro at the end. Great, so from next week, we'll start actually building the sounds and the music of our song. All right, so today we are gonna be playing around on Chrome Music Lab, which you might have already heard of, but we're gonna be playing around on something called Songmaker. All right, so if you click on the link below, or you can just type in your browser Chrome Music Lab, you're gonna see a screen like this. And if you've already been on Chrome Music Lab, you would have played around with a bunch of different really fun apps on here. But today we're gonna specifically look at Songmaker, which is actually the first one. So on Songmaker, we can literally just make a song. We can come up with a melody, but I wanted to just show you some of the features that you might have not seen before. So as you can see, this is where you can have fun with that. A lot of people I know, you can draw pictures on it. It's kind of like, it looks like a pixelated, oops, yeah. Right, so here's my sort of circle, right? Kind of looks like a smiley face or something like that. And what you do is it just kind of plays into a song. But if you see here, you can change the instruments by clicking on these. So I think so this is the default. We're set to marimba. Let's just have a bunch of these things so you can actually hear it. Right? This is piano, strings, instruments that way. And these two bottom rows are reserved for percussion sounds. So let's just do randomly so I can show you. You can also change the instruments for these. So if you play it, right, this is the default electronic sound, and then these are wood blocks. Change it to drum kit, so you can make it more conga drums, etc. So you can have different combinations of these, right? You can have strings with a drum kit, conga, electronic, etc. Okay, so this is what you can do on the default page. And if you see here, it says tempo. So that means you can, if you drag this to the right and the number gets higher, drag it to the left, the number gets lower. It basically means how fast or slow you want the song to be. So the higher the number, the faster it is. Let's try it out. Okay. And then you can also make it super slow, right? So there's just so much you can do with this, but there's even more. Okay. So if you go here, I'll show you this first. If you go on settings, wow, so we have a lot of options here. So this tells us that you can increase how long you want the song to be. So I don't know if you noticed, but basically after it plays once, it goes back around into a loop and it starts again, right? So if you want your song to be longer, you can increase the number of bars. Let's see how many you can do. Okay, so the most you can do is up to 16 bars. So you can have a fairly long song. And then this says beats per bar. So right now it's set to 4 beats per bar. So you can think of something in a 4/4 time signature. You can change that if you want. You can have 5 beats per bar, 7. I think 7 is the maximum. If you want 3, and you can split beats into. So right now the beats are split into. You can sort of see the lines here, right? 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, and that's what it means. So if you wanted to split it into 3, 4, doesn't matter. And right here, this gets a little bit more advanced. So right now, we are in a major scale. And I don't know, we're not gonna have time to go specifically into here, but you can experiment with all 3 of them. So let's just quickly look at what happens if we click pentatonic. Let's leave the other ones the same. Right, so it looks different here, right? So if you see, the notes have changed. So it's using 5 of the notes in the scale, and it's gonna sound different. Oops, let's sing it faster. Right. So you can experiment with a pentatonic scale. You can also do chromatic. So for chromatic scale, it just means every single note in this scale, including, so if you play a piano, all of the black keys. So here, I'll show you. Etc., etc., right? So yeah, so there's all of these settings that you can do, and then if you go back, you can start on, so right now this is kind of the default. You can change the note that you start on. You can change if you want it to start really low in terms of the pitch, or you could start really high as well. And the range right now, it's set to 2 octaves. What that means is just how long. Right now we have 1 C all the way to higher C, and then so this is the range, but if you increase it, how many octaves can you, okay, so 3 octaves is the most. So you just have more notes, right? Okay, so there's that. You can also do, here, let's just restart it. You can also press mic. So what that does is you can sing into your mic to add the notes, right? So, la. Okay, that wasn't the, la, 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 la. Cool. Right, so you can see that you can also do this with your own instrument. If you have a violin, play a note, and then it actually might record directly onto here. If you have a piano, play on your piano, etc. right? So there's really cool things you can do. And what you can do after your project is done, you can save it, and then you can copy the link, send it to your friend, or you can share it through Facebook or Twitter. And here you can download the actual file. So you can download the Wave music file, or you can download the MIDI if you, and then if you download the MIDI, you can also plug it into different apps to play around with. Maybe we'll do that on another week. And so yeah, so there you go. You can play around with this, experiment however you want. And then I'm also going to share some of the ones that I've been working on.
All right, so here's the one that I use the pentatonic scale for. And I decided to use strings and a drum kit. What song is this? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is. And this one I use the chromatic scale feature. Sounds like bees buzzing or something, but it also looks really cool and makes the patterns. And I'm also slowing down the tempo as well.